Hi, this is Calpurn Piso. I'm going to explain today why of these birthers. These people, where does this psychosis come from? People that believe that Obama wasn't born here and they compare him with a chimp. I'm going to explain that. It's all ChristPsychosis, racism. Why the racism? It's an illness. It's a terrible, terrible illness to actually believe in imaginary friends to be reality, like zombies that resurrect and say with blood. That's because of all the problems from 1750 years ago. But I want to talk about the ChristPsychotics, the birthers, the racist, the psychopath. In this video about Obama, I included some clips from National Geographic. Guess what? Only the people in the United States can see it. And it was, I suspect National Geographic people are ChristPsychotic also, because they completely distort history. They constantly distort bullshit about Salomon Temple and all that crap, and the Jews and all that. Well, these pieces of shit don't realize that the Jews belonged to the Roman Empire. It was a Roman province with a Roman religion, Roman temple. Here is the Arch of Titus. It was brought from the Temple of Jerusalem. There was a Roman temple, pieces of shit, that actually they brought all the rituals pieces and all that to Rome. Here it is. See, this is the problem. These lies, historical lies and falsehoods have been taught for hundreds of years. And schools, universities, all this stuff, and they have the Bible like it was a historical document. It is a mythology, and this is the cause of all these problems, the racism, the pedophilia, the psychopathy, the wife beating, even the serial killers that hate prostitutes because they're burning Christian homes, the abortion bombers clinics, the bomb the clinics, the people that immolate themselves like Koresh and Dove, Heaven's Gate, all these wars that happen, all this intolerance, all thanks to ChristPsychosis. This believing bizarre, metamagical things to be reality, just like schizophrenics. That's the reason I approached this clip. Now we go with the birthers, the ChristPsychotics.
Any other time when a significant number of
Christianity for you, stupid Christians.
Here's what the Arizona Republic editorial writes about the proposed birth certificate law in their state. This is not a national thing. This is in the state. Secretary of State Ken Bennett, who lives in the real
birth certificate on the internet. Of course, you can't believe everything you see on the internet, so I've never personally investigated it or studied it.
But okay, it sounds like you're saying you believe it, but you don't believe what you read on the internet. So you do believe he's an American, though?
Yes, I do.
I mean, it's available for anyone to see. It's been released, and in Hawaii there are only electronic records.
Stupid Christian, schizophrenia. People are the stupidest.
So why vote for something?
No wonder this country is so behind.
Perpetuates these false internet rumors.
It's Christian crap.
Well, Anderson,
conspiracy theories are people that suffer from schizophrenia.
Among people in the United States, and for better
delusions inducing disorder.
He's a U.S. citizen.
Which is religious belief.
He has loyalties. Divided loyalties, I suppose you could say.
Right, but those people are wrong. I mean, he is a U.S. citizen.
Well, you're telling me that he's wrong. I've never investigated that. If he is, then he has nothing to fear.
This legislator is recently just like this schizophrenic depicted in Ramachandran.
Yeah, look at this moron.
But I mean, the information is out there. I mean, it has been released. It has been shown.
It's idiots don't believe 2 plus 2 equals 4.
But there are also some people.
All religious people believe that 2 plus 2 equals 5.
You've never investigated it.
Conspiracy theories, lacking evidence, they all believe 2 plus 2 equals 5. They're idiots. They have a problem with the brain.
The reason I spoke up on this bill is simply because there is a lot of division in the country, and I believe this would put an end to any future controversy about a president's qualifications.
Based on things they've read on the internet. I mean, isn't it your job as a leader to actually lead, to not just throw up your hands and say, well, who knows what's real and not on the internet, to actually say, well, actually, you know, Hawaii has released this information and it's factually correct.
That's right.
Well, as I said, I haven't personally investigated that, but I think that if...
But I mean, there's plenty of things you believe that you have not personally investigated. Why this are you holding on to?
Yeah, it's like the Christians believe in zombie Jesus.
A presidential candidate.
Well, having investigated, but I think it's true.
And I don't think having any presidential candidate show that he's qualified by demonstrating
Now
the
they're trying to get off
requirements
this
of the requirements
thing here.
that there's any problem with that.
You told my producer you thought the president spent $1 million fighting the release of his birth certificate, and then that raised concerns for you.
That's what I've heard. As I said,
But that's not, you know, that's actually not true.
I don't know that that's not true. As I said, I haven't studied it. You get a
Look at
lot
the
of
moron.
information on the internet, as you know.
Ask him what kind of a religion he is.
This is not
and it says he's a Christian.
my attention for
He believes in resurrecting zombies.
the last 2 years, but
This
I
is
know
a problem in the
it's a
country.
matter of
Ask the religion of this.
Filtered.
They're all Christian idiots.
a means to end
And a Republican,
You also
typical.
said, you know that's not true, right?
I didn't know that that was not true.
That's a story that was put out. Is if what you see it for yourself at the state office in Hawaii? I mean, to not believe anything that is put out by anyone, then how can you believe anything? I mean,
Well, it's not my responsibility to check the qualifications. When someone comes to be on the ballot in Arizona, it's my responsibility to check those qualifications. The responsibility of the Secretary of State. And so all we said is if it's required that you be a natural-born citizen, he determined that. Now, you argue this in terms of what's happened to Barack Obama. I'm thinking in terms of the next nominees.
but this is
down
all
the road.
about Barack Obama. I mean, this is completely partisan, no?
Well, that's why I spoke up on the bill. They were the other side.
Yeah, Republican,
This is racist.
ChristPsychotic
It's
idiots.
embarrassing. I spoke up to say this is a matter of race. It's not a racist
Because the
issue.
president is a genius. He's extremely smart. Summa cum laude.
So where was George Bush
And he's biracial.
I
Idiot.
have no idea where George Bush was born.
But that wasn't a concern for you when he was in office.
The issue never came up.
What about Bill Clinton? Where was he born?
I have no idea.
So all of a sudden you're concerned about where the President of the United States is born based on calls you're getting from constituents who are misinformed.
Actually, I did not get any calls from constituents until after this bill was passed, that they meet the requirements for the position. Now, nobody can deny, regardless of what you believe about President Obama, nobody can deny that there's been a controversy.
Well, yeah, but
You may
controversy about
deny-
everything. But there are things called facts, and you know
That's
the
right.
facts. You
That's
are
right.
a leader. You know the facts.
Religious people don't have any
When a
facts.
constituent-
They're
Filtered.
Reading all this stuff
like
on the internet.
conspiracy theorists, like the birthers and all these morons.
Was a foreign exchange student to say, actually, no, he wasn't. I mean, isn't it?
They belong in a mental institution, the idiots.
Look, President Obama is president now. For the future, this kind of controversy should not come up again because they'll have to establish that up front. And that avoid this kind of controversy in the future.
To your critics will say that you and the other Republicans, only Republicans voted for this, are simply pandering to a misinformed electorate. That rather than setting
They're all retarded. They're Christians.
just
with
pandering, you're
respect.
just throwing out
Retarded.
your hand and say, gosh, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff on the internet, a lot of it
Yeah.
seems controversial. We this bill, rather than saying, actually...
They love fantasy. They love conspiracy theories. They love all that crap.
I think
Fancies.
our purpose was to avoid this kind of controversy in
Baseless,
the future.
void of
And I think
evidence.
That's appropriate.
They like
That's
crap.
our job as leaders.
Fantasies,
is to eliminate
void
the
of
possibility of this kind of
evidence.
controversy in
They
the
believe
future.
2 plus 2 equals 5.
Cecil Ash, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
The Republican governor of Hawaii, Linda Lingle, has backed. This should have been done and gone a long time ago, but it's managed to become a very persistent conspiracy theory because it is, as Roland said, is feeding into a lot of people's worst instincts and fears that have to do with
Stupid Christophrenics,
truly
idiots.
American. That is
morons.
absurd stuff, and yet we see it getting currency now
But
in
let's
state capitals.
call it for what it is. Schizophrenia. These people, the reason they believe that is because they're infected with religious beliefs, the Christian ones.
And that contributes to this.
That's the problem.
Well, of course.
Christian psychosis. People are stupid, retarded, ignorant.
India and
They only speak English. They're morons.
We're seeing.
The brains are dysfunctional.
Pick apart that ridiculous.
That's the problem
thing
in this
you
country.
He said, "quote
Put them in mental institutions where they belong. Fix their brains up."
Was saying.
And then we have this stupid ChristPsychotic woman in government, you know, the Republican Party, Tea Party, sending an email, Obama, as a chimp. Because this piece of shit, ignoramus, ChristPsychotic moron, brought up in a ChristPsychotic infected family. They're anti-evolution. They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They're anti-science. And they think that evolution says that humans, we came from monkeys. That's their stupidity. Ignorant assholes. And we have the Supreme Court Justice Roberts, a piece of shit Christian. is ChristPsychotic. He believes in resurrecting zombies, as many congressmen do that. A lot of people in power believing all that crap. Senator Kyle from Arizona is another piece of shit, ChristPsychotic, that believing all this shit. So this is what happens. And parents infected with this disorder teach their children. And they make him a little tiny psychopath. If the kids have susceptibility, as a bad brain, they're susceptible to accepting this nonsense as reality. When they grow up and get educated, they still kind of believe this crap. They become ChristPsychotic retards or theotards. And this is the problem. And they're in government.
President Obama is a baby chimp with the caption, "Now you know why no birth certificate," is circulating the web. But
and the Tea Party ChristPsychotic imbeciles are not racist?
I don't think she measured the consequence of...
No, she's a Christian.
I think she understood.
She's a moron. She's an ignoramus that believes the earth is flat. Stupid woman.
That this was a terribly
idiot.
Offensive and racist.
And I immediately replied to her.
No bullshit, you're not offended.
This was
you're not a Christian piece of shit. ChristPsychotic. They should take these people to mental institutions to get their brains fixed. We're in the 21st century, assholes. Learn science.
Chairman says somebody on the 73-member committee leaked the email Davenport sent to the OC Weekly.
Yeah, those pieces of shit Tea Party are nothing but assholes, racist assholes.
To her Central Committee colleagues, saying, quote, "I'm sorry if my email..."
Oh, bullshit. You're really sorry. You're sorry that anybody saw it.
One or two other people tried to make this about race.
Yeah, it is race, you piece of shit, Christians, ChristPsychotic imbecile. See that?
Life, Christ-like honoring life. I'd never do anything.
ChristPsychotic piece of shit. Doesn't know what planet this is. She creates thoughts with the brain, the moron.
You know,
ChristPsychotic thinks, I will not resign my central committee position over this matter that the average person knows and agrees is much to do about nothing. Typical. Her brain is fucked up and is infected with ChristPsychosis. This piece of shit woman should be in position of government. She should be in a mental institution like the rest of the ChristPsychotic imbeciles that are in control of the country. These morons don't realize that this is the organ that is malfunctioned and making me so stupid.
Include language that will challenge the modern theory of evolution.
Theotarded. Christians again.
So, I think we got to be honest with the kids.
John McElroy.
Yeah, 2 plus 2 is not equal to 4. It can be 6 or 7.
He disputes the idea that humanity has evolved over millions of years.
What a bunch of theotards.
He proposes that students should analyze and evaluate the sufficiency or insufficiency
of bunch of morons.
Biologist David
Back in the Middle Ages.
The evidence supporting evolution is clear.
That's right.
He insists that people who want to change the curriculum are motivated by religious beliefs.
Yeah, theotarded.
Beginning of the earth. Life happened quickly, but not multicellular life. You needed your cyanobacteria to sort of crank on the oxygen, get the oxygen budget going. Then you could have sort of that's sort of rocket fuel for multicellular creatures. But that's hardly an efficient plan. I don't even include here the expression of free will where people want to kill each other. I'm talking about nature killing us without the help of human beings.
And this ChristPsychotic morons of the Tea Party and Republicans don't have any idea. They are embracing the KKK and Nazism, racism against blacks. They should learn history, American history, the pieces of shit assholes.
When Christians came around, look at the cross at the top.
The end of Reconstruction signaled the beginning of a new racial caste system in the South.
Yeah.
Separate and unequal.
Yeah, see that? Good Christians, huh?
But the carnage inflicted by the Klan was staggering.
Yeah.
Certainly hundreds were killed, thousands injured.
Just like the Inquisition. The Christians against the Islam and the Jews.
Ku Klux Klan was a fading memory. Recollections of the hooded order were tainted by popular literature, which portrayed the invisible empire as an heroic force, simply battling to maintain the proper social order.
Yeah. Christian, just like Nazism.
This fanciful remembrance would help fuel the Klan's revival. 16 men gathered atop Stone Mountain in Georgia. As night fell, a towering cross was ignited and the Ku Klux Klan was reborn.
Yeah, 1915.
The organizer of the spectacle was a preacher-turned-salesman named William Joseph Simmons.
There you go, a preacher.
Colonel William J. Simmons left the cloth and ordered to become a fraternal organizer.
See? Methodist
claimed the idea of starting a new clan came to him in a vision.
Vision.
The birth of the group was simply a matter of timing.
All divisions.
The moment arrived with the release of one of the greatest cinematic achievements of its time.
It made people believe in the history that was portrayed.
President Wilson made it legal.
Even Unitarian ministers endorsed it. And it just had a great effect on changing people's attitudes toward blacks and convincing them that these people really do need to be controlled.
Simmons mapped out the vehicle of control in a manual called the Koran. The handbook described the clan's secret rites, rituals,
another Bible. It's like Hitler's Mein Kampf.
Find the meanings of strange names created for clan ceremonies,
see that?
Regions, and officers. Simmons bestowed upon himself the title of Imperial Wizard, Emperor of the Invisible Empire.
See that?
Brings into clan activities. The Star Witness. Imperial Wizard Simmons denied all accusations and dazzled the senators.
Christians.
Amazingly, the investigations had the opposite effect from which they were intended.
Yep, they love the Christian
Simmons
KKK.
Publicity was instrumental in the growth of the clan.
See, and it grew. Oh, Christians?
It grew. Certain newspapers aided us by inducing Congress to investigate us. The result was that Congress gave us the best advertising we ever got.
See that?
Congress made us.
Christian America.
In a wave of publicity from the newspaper exposés and congressional hearings, the Klan burst out of the South in an incredible surge of growth.
Yeah, Christian Nazism.
Claverns arose in every state of the Union. New members willingly paid a $10 initiation fee for the privilege of donning the robe and hood.
See that?
To their full advantage. They persuaded local ministers to join the Klan by offering free membership and a position of leadership.
Yep, because it's a Christian situation.
Klansmen would then make a mysterious call on the congregation.
With prior arrangement by the minister, they would appear during the service on Sunday morning, would receive and bless.
That's where the Christian psychosis comes from.
People would know
here in America.
The Klan was now in town.
Yeah, that's the problem with this disease.
And the hallowed cloth of the American flag.
See that?
It found new members easily induced to join.
Right. That's right.
In order to recruit, the Klan
this should be taught in schools and children to understand this.
The Klan message was
Christianity is a very dangerous illness. It's a psychosis.
You're black, or we'll burn a building. Very few people would join the Klan in good and Christian and right and moral and just and patriotic purposes.
See, and this ChristPsychotics ignoramuses, with defective brains, are the ones in charge of the judicial system. They are all judges. They are the making the laws. They are the legislators, and worst of all, the teachers. They want to keep the people ignorant. The churches, these pieces of shit organizations, keep by stagnating the mind of children and corrupting them in body and mind. And they don't pay taxes. How nice, right? And this is the problem in this country. This pieces of shit, and everybody's blind to that. The educational organizations in the country are blind to it. The cause of all the problem is Christianity. The churches should be shut down, put all these fucking lunatics into mental institutions they belong, and fix their brains up, and don't allow them to corrupt everyone with lies and more lies, even the universities that are Christian. This is the problem. I tell it like it is. I tell the truth. That's the truth. And see, teaching creationism is like teaching lies. It's corrupting the mind of children with garbage, keeping their mind ignorant and stagnated. And you cannot teach fairy tales along with science, with evolutionary biology, which crushes the psychosis of Christianity and believing God and crap like that. And so today is the 19th of April, 2011. And you know what happened? There was a 6-year-old that took a gun to school. And he dropped the gun and they wounded 3 kids. A 6-year-old. His parents should be in jail. The reason is because there's a lot of racism in the country. They have to bear arms, and they have to shoot animals and all that, and because that's in Christianity, you know, the planet belongs to all of us. We can do anything we want with animals and kill anybody that is don't believe in zombie Jesus. So they teach the kids all that garbage instead of educating them in science. Just mentioning to them that they are created by fuck and not God or stork or anything like that. Of course, they have to teach them sex education so they don't get molested by other Christians, pieces of shit, adult. And this is the problem. And like the lady that tried to kill herself, and one of the boys escaped. And this happened, 3 days ago in New York. All taught, you know, Christian school and daycare, Christian center, and they infect these people with this garbage, and the mother goes desperate, and they decide to go to heaven. And the neurologist, like this clinical neurologist trying to advise them, doesn't do anything either. And it doesn't realize that Christianity infecting people with this garbage of resurrecting zombies is very dangerous, because people believe it and they think that when they die they're going to go to this heaven, and they end up killing themselves or doing something crazy.
Who drove her family van into the Hudson River and killing herself and 3 of her 4 children. There are new details now of their...
This is a child who will need therapy for many years to come.
Yeah, what he doesn't realize is that this kid is being infected by Christianity, ChristPsychosis with the mother, and he doesn't mention this, as many kids in the United States. The kids are being corrupted and filled with all this garbage and psychosis of these fairy tales of Christianity, were disgusting. They're all bloody crap over heaven and sin and all that bullshit. And this is exactly what happened. And the parents are responsible. The government is responsible for not treating people that suffer from this Christian crap into the mental institutions they belong. That's the problem.
This woman had some severe depression.
Really?
She was very stressed by having...
She was a Christian! ChristPsychotic woman!
With her partner.
That was the problem.
He was cheating on her.
That was the problem. She was psychotic.
Was really pushed
some
to the max by the circumstances. When it comes to these murder-suicides, it's because they feel that the kids would be better off with them on the other side.
Exactly.
In having whatever their religious belief may be, instead of leaving them as sole survivors.
Exactly, psychotic, like Andrea Yates.
That you are coming with me. I'm not.
So they should be put in mental institutions before this happens.
I'm going to die, you're going to die with me.
See that? See what they attended?
Unique daycare, either full or part-time, where all 4 kids were well loved and very well behaved.
See that? They're corrupted like the mother with ChristPsychosis. This is the problem. They corrupt children with this garbage, and there's so many people, 80% of people in the United States are infected with ChristPsychosis, and they corrupt the mind of children with all this garbage of bloody zombie Jesus and resurrection and flagellation and all that crap. That's sadomasochism, and that's what they teach us idiots with, you know, God bless you and prayers and crap like that. You know, that is the problem in this country. ChristPsychosis. A lot of the serial killers are all born in a Christian homes, educated with Christian garbage, you know, and this is the problem, and they hate prostitutes.
The father is not to pick up the children. She said he can have no contact with them, and she also said that she
isn't here to give members of the Texas Board of Education a history lesson.
Good.
She wants to talk about the future of science.
The sort of science that they want to teach, that evolution and the theory of evolution is controversial, would have been appropriate for 1860, but not the 21st century.
Exactly.
The only one making a unique fashion statement. One person even arrived wearing a purple dinosaur costume.
That's right.
The comedic touch providing a different spin to a serious debate on evolution and how it should be taught.
Who's in charge of the process?
Yeah. Theotards.
Kathy Miller with the lobbyist group Texas Freedom Network held a rally just before members of the Texas Board of Education.
Freedom of Psychosis?
On setting standards for high school and middle school textbooks. Is over new language requiring students to learn about the strengths and limitations of the theory of evolution.
You're idiots.
Will be directed to
limitations that 2 + 2 = 4?
To evolution.
assholes.
Quite concerned that that natural.
Exactly.
Creation.
Exactly. These people belong in mental institutions.
Keeping the church and state separated, for some, is what this fight's all about. For others,
not just that. Sanity versus insanity. 21st century.
If he's told what to do.
And now there's scientific ideas say they can't teach the Darwinian theory of evolution, which every scientist views as the basis for science.
Exactly.
I mean, the world's going crazy, he thought.
Yeah.
The controversy had been brewing quietly ever since Darwin announced his findings.
On the origin of species in 1859. And surprisingly, for a book that is so technical, the book was a bestseller. Aha, when they read the pages of this book, finally we have an explanation for these things. Or they saw something to be concerned about and something to be feared.
Yeah, the ChristPsychotics.
In the Galapagos Islands, Darwin had identified fundamental laws that explained life's great diversity.
Yep. That's
Darwin studied the finches on the Galapagos. All organisms show variation, which is those organisms that had the most favorable variations
are the ones that survive,
most likely to prevail.
Exactly.
Darwin's entire theory of evolution. And the radical element was that he tied us in with every other living thing.
Exactly. That's why the ChristPsychotics didn't like.
Evolution's great danger. If humans were not made in God's image, then the literal truth of the Bible fell into doubt, and Christian morality was undermined.
Fairy tale, the nuts.
Many people look at evolution as a way of saying that since we are all the products of an impersonal material process that gave rise to us,
and actually,
we're not really in control of ourselves.
Yeah.
Nothing is good, there is no evil, there is no morality, and society is going to come unglued and will simply self-destruct.
Stupid these people were. They are stupid.
In his crusade, Brian knew he was supported by a Christian majority who had resisted teaching evolution in their own public schools. Throughout the Scopes trial, the prominent journalist H.L. Mencken called Brian a manipulator, preyed upon unfounded public fears. These poor ignoramuses as no other man among us.
Now you know the nature of the Tea Party and all these crazy people and why they behave so intolerant. And they're racist, they're pedophiles, they're child molester. You have Phelps protesting in army funerals, calling everybody that United States is a sinful country and all these faggots and all that stuff. And now you know the reason. ChristPsychosis, which is infecting America. And we should be aware of that. And it places people that suffer from this mental illness, this neurological disorder, the schizotype, in mental institutions that belong. Pace de oro.